Hello, today I'm going to look at changing fractions to decimals. Okay, but before we do the whole of this week, we're looking at fraction work. Before I do that, I'd like to go over the learning check that you submitted last lesson. I'm just going to go through the answers. Well done to everyone who submitted their work. Most of the questions are right, just a couple maybe at the end I need to go through here and here. So, multiplying fractions times the tops and times the bottoms. I can't simplify that, so that's my answer. This one here, times the tops together and times the bottoms together. You notice that I can simplify this by dividing top and bottom by 10. Okay, this one, you keep the first, change and flip. So do that first, and then times the numerators and denominators, and then you get your answer. So keep, KFC, keep, change, flip. Okay, so you get 8/9. Now this one here, you have to change your mixed number to a top-heavy fraction. 1 times 5 plus 3 is 8/5 times 2/3. Will be times the tops, times the bottoms. 15 goes into 16 once, with 1 left over. Okay, this one caused a few problems. Let's change this to a top-heavy fraction. 2 times 3 is 6 plus 2 is 8. So it's 8/3. Keep, change, flip. Some of you forgot to flip the second fraction. Okay, I'm going to do this one two ways. I could either times the tops together and times the bottoms together. I notice 12 times 6 is 72, so it will simplify to 6. I'm also going to do it the other way, where I can see 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 9 3 times, 4 goes into once, and 4 goes into 8. Now times the tops together and times the bottoms together. 4 goes into 8 twice, times the tops together, and I will get 6. Sorry about that. Right, the challenge. Well done if you got to this far. First of all, I've got to change this into sixes. I can't add these fractions yet until the denominator is the same. This is what we did in our first lessons on fractions this week. So this will be 3/6, this will be 2/6. So I'm changing the question to 3/4 divided by, well, this will become 5/6. Okay, so keep, change, flip. Okay, times the tops together and times the bottoms together. Or you can cancel that down to 9/10. So I did actually see a question very similar to this in a GCSE paper. Okay, so that's your learning check. You can just correct the work that you've done. I have already given you feedback with everyone who submitted their work. Right, so we're looking at changing fractions to decimals today. So just a few key points to write in your books. Right, 1/10 can be written like this, 0.1. 1/100th and 1,000th. So just pause the video and write that in your books, please. So how do we change, for example, 3/10 into a decimal? Well, we know 3/10 can be written like this. No units, 3/10. Remember, this is the tenths column. Okay, so now we've got 900ths. Units, tenths, hundredths, 900ths. Remember this? Okay, so we have units here, tenths, then hundredths. So if we were looking at the place value, we have it like that. Right, 7,000ths, no units, no tenths, no hundredths, 7,000ths. Okay, so sticking to this, now I'm going to look at changing 23 out of 100 into a decimal. Well, this is no units, 2 tens and 3 hundredths, or 23 hundredths. And this would be 0.049. Because so I've got 9 thousandths and 4 hundredths. Okay, what about how you would change this one? 8 out of 20. How would you change that to a decimal? Well, if I can change it to be out of 100 or out of 10, then it would be easier for me. Or out of 1,000, so tens, hundreds or thousands. Okay, well let's change this one to out of 100. So equivalent fractions times by 5 and times by 5. So I get 40. So I've got 40 hundredths or 4 tenths. So I could write it like that or like that. 40 hundredths or 4 tenths. We don't need the 0, so I keep my answer as 0.4. Okay, 6 out of 50. Right, well, I'm going to change it to 100 again. Times by 2, times by 2, times the top and bottom of the fraction by 2. Whatever I do to the top of the fraction, I have to do the same to the bottom. So I have 12 hundredths. Right, this one here. Well, I'm going to change it to hundredths. I'm going to divide top and bottom by 2. Sorry, divide top and bottom by 2. And I'm then going to write it as 5 hundredths. Okay, this next one I can change it to 100. I can see 25 goes into 100 4 times. So I times the top by 4 and I get 12. So 12 hundredths. We can see that these two are in fact exactly the same, because they're actually 6 out of 50 is equivalent to 3 out of 25. So I get the same decimal number. So what I'd like you to do now is to have a go. This isn't your learning check at the end of the lesson, but I'd like you to have a go now at doing these 4 questions here. So pause the video, write them down in your books, look back at what we've just done if you need to, and the key here, if you change them all to be out of 100, it will be a lot easier for you. So pause the video and have a go at doing that. Okay, well done. So I can times by 4, times by 5, times by 2, and divide by 2 again. If you wanted that support, okay, I've scaffolded the work for you. Pause the video, have another go. Right, so I'm going to times the top by 4, and this will be 40 hundredths or 0.4. Okay, I times the top by 5, so I get 35 hundredths. I times the top by 2, so I get 40 hundredths or 0.4. I divide by 2 and I get 4 hundredths. So well done for having a go at that. Now, what if we had a challenge? What about this question here? Okay. Now, it's not easy to. There's no way I can change that to be something out of 100 because 8 doesn't go into 100. Whereas if you see all of these, all the denominators can easily be put into 100. So, what I'm going to do is think about how I'm just checking that this video is working. Yes, it is. Okay, yeah, so I'm going to look at how I change 1/8 into a decimal. Now, I've written down my 8 times table at the side here. Okay, and what I'm going to do is use the bus stop method of division. That's the only way I can do that without a calculator. Obviously, if I had a calculator, I would just do 1. This sign means divided by. So I could just do that on the calculator and get my answer. But this is all without a calculator. Now, bus stop method, make sure you put the 1 inside the bus stop and the 8 on the outside. Now, we know we're going to get a decimal answer. I don't know how long my decimal is going to go, so I'm just putting a few zeros there. I'm going to use this at the side to help me. Right, 8 into 1 doesn't go, carry the 1 over. 8 into 10 goes once, 8 into 10 goes once, carry the 2 over. 8 into 20 will go twice, 2 8s are 16, how many left to get 20? 4. 8 into 40 will go 5 times, 5 times 8 is 40, with nothing left over. So I stop there. So changing 1/8 into a decimal using the bus stop method is 0.125. Now we're going to look at this next one, 5/8. So pause the video, use the 8 times table again, have a go at doing that. Remember, the 5 goes in the inside of the bus stop and the 8 goes on the outside, and you put some zeros here to help you. Okay, well done for having a go at that. Let me go through the answer. 8 into 5 doesn't go. I carry the 5 over. Some people make mistakes here and don't carry the 5 over, they carry over a different number. 8 into 50, what goes here 6 times. 6 8s are 48, 2 to get to 50. 8 into 20 goes 2 times with 4 left over. 8 into 40 goes 5. So there's my answer, 0.625. Right, last one for you to have a go at, another 8th question. Remember, 3 goes in the bus stop and 8 goes on the outside, and you can use the 8 times table to help you. Okay, let's go through the answer after you've had a go. Make sure you have paused and you have tried this yourself. 8 into 3 goes 0, carry the 3. 8 into 30 goes 3 times. 3 8s are 27, 6 to get to 30. Okay, 3 into 60 goes 7 times. 7 8s are 56 with 4 left over. 8 into 40 goes 5. So my answer is 0.375. Changing a fraction to a decimal using the bus stop method. Right, now some harder ones now, because these ones now don't necessarily, the decimals don't necessarily stop, i.e. terminate, they might go on forever. So let's see what happens when we do this. Right, so 2 in the side of the bus stop, 3 on the inside and the outside. Remember, my denominator is in the inside of the bus stop. Don't know how many zeros I'm going to need. 3 into 2 doesn't go. Carry the 2 over. 3 times 6 is 18. 2 left over. 3 into 20 goes 6. 2 left over. 3 into 20 goes 6. 2 left over. And you can see that we call this 0.6 recurring. Okay, 2 7s. Have a go. Do this yourself. And pause the video and see what fraction decimal you get. Okay, I'm just going to write down the 7 times table here to support you. I'm just going to stop there. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if you don't know your tables in an exam, you can just write them down quickly at the side, just adding on 7 each time. 7 into 2 doesn't go. carry on the 2. 7 into 20 goes twice. 7 times 2 is 14. 6 left over. 7 into 60, oh sorry, I didn't carry that on long enough, is 8. 7 eighths are 56. 4 left over. 7 into 40 will go 5 times, and 5 left over. Carrying on for a long time. 7 into 50 will go 6 times. No, sorry. 6 sevens are 42. Yeah, 6 sevens are 42. Actually, 7 times. 7 sevens are 49. 1 left over. 7 into 10 will go once. 3 left over. 7 into 30 will go 4 with 2 left over. Now, you see I had a 2 here. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to get this decimal, and it's going to repeat now. It's going to go 2, 8, 5, 7, 1, 4. 2, 8, 5, 7, 1, 4. So this is a repeating decimal, but you can see that this part, these 6 numbers keep on repeating. So I put my recurring sign on the 2 and the 4. Okay, well done. That's a hard one. Right, I think we'll stop there. So I'm going to give you your learning check now. There are 10 questions for you to have a go at. Just check you can see all of those 10 questions. Yep, you can. The first 6 are straightforward ones where you don't have to use the bus stop method. You can just, these ones I'm going to, hopefully you know these 2, if not, change them to be out of 100. And then for these 4 here, please use the bus stop method. Some may be recurring decimals, some may terminate. Good luck, email me your work. I look forward to seeing it today. Thank you, bye-bye.